Hey guys, welcome to Whispers of Charleston. My name is Savannah. Um, we're going to do the Aiken Rhett House today. If y'all hear coughing in the background, that's my child. He's just got a stupid hay fever cough that is not wanting to go away. So that's what you'll hear in the background. It says coughing. I promise he's not dying. We're not killing him. We're not abusing him. He's just one of those kids that his cough sounds a lot worse than it really is. So I'm gonna do some light housekeeping. Sorry if my brain's a little foggy today. I had a long week at work. It's been really hot here in Charleston, and the Charleston heat's kind of been getting to everyone. I kind of work outside for work, so the heat's no bueno. So if y'all live in part of the housekeeping is if y'all live in other parts of the world, tell me what the weather's like for y'all in your neck of the woods. I know that Texas and Florida, y'all are probably going through the same heat wave and heat struggle that I'm dealing with, and same with y'all in North Carolina. What's it like for y'all in Wisconsin? I heard that y'all got snow the other day. That's crazy. Well, I guess it's crazy for us because it's like 80% humidity right now for us and we're struggling. So if y'all want to send some of that cold weather, like shoo it down to us, please, by all means. We need it. I'm sorry, this heat, it's just, all right, so I digress. So please come join the Facebook group, join the Instagram page, follow me on YouTube, email me. I don't care what y'all, send me an email of what y'all ate for dinner or what y'all's dog look like. If y'all, on Apple podcast, tell me what your dogs look like, or tell me where y'all are from. Just anything I can get to get this podcast growing. And y'all, those of you who do listen, y'all are amazing and beautiful people, and thank you for listening. So, we're gonna go head down to downtown Charleston. We're gonna head to Elizabeth Street. We're gonna go to 48 Elizabeth Street in the Ragboro area neighborhood, and we're gonna talk about the Aiken Rhett House. This house is considered to be one of the best preserved complexes of the antebellum domestic structures of Charleston. It was vastly expanded by Governor and Miss William Aiken Jr. and it's supposed to be senior. My bad. All right, proceed. In the 1830s and again in the 1850s, the house and its outbuildings include a kitchen, a laundry room, a carriage block, and the original quarters for the enslaved. A little FYI, no, I don't condone slavery. I'm not a hee-haw for slavery, but I do like hearing stories from African Americans about what they went through, what life was like for them, their versions of the stories of what plantations and what old Charleston was like. I do have some old coworkers whose grandmothers were slaves on plantations that we had here in Charleston, and I love hearing stories from them. I will be doing a story soon out in Monk's Corner. And a lot of the story that I got from was from a coworker's great grandmother and great grandmother, who are still alive today. And this is part of the hoodoo and the voodoo culture that we have here in the Southeast, and it's kind of one of those things that it's part of our everyday living. It's something that I've had hands-on learning and experiences for the last 25 years, and I hope it never goes away. So we're gonna go ahead and proceed, and I just wanted to do that little FYI. I'd like to cover all my corners. So, sorry, that's my dog. I have a big dog. I have a Saint Bernard Weimar Amber Black Lab mix. And he's 110 pounds, and his name is Bandit, and then I have a 95-pound pit bull. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm doing my best. I'm recording this on Saturday. I had to work today. So the house and its surviving furnishings offer a complex portrait of the urban life in antebellum Charleston, as well as a politician, industrial, and planter, and enslaver. That's kind of how Mr. William Sr. had left the home for his children. So in 1995, when the Historic Charleston Foundation assumed ownership of the property and adapted preserved as found Spotify, as found preservation approach, meaning the structure and context are left in an as found state, including furniture and finishings that have not been altered or touched since the 19th century. The only restored room in the house is the art gallery, showcasing the paintings and sculptures the Aiken family acquired on their European grand tour. While many dependency buildings in Charleston have been demolished or adapted to today's culture or today's settings, the Aiken Rhett House kitchen, laundry room, and quarters, and with their original, as well as the main house, are set in stone with their original paint, floors, and fixtures. Survive virtually untouched since the 1850s, allowing visitors the unique chance to better comprehend the everyday realities of the enslaved Africans who lived on site, who maintained the household and catered to the needs of the Aiken family and their guests. So it's literally like walking back in time. So if you were to walk into the house today, it's almost as if the Aiken family left for work this morning and just didn't come home. It literally is exactly how they left it. That you can see the paint falling off the walls, the wallpaper falling off, the multiple layers of wallpaper that they had used through the several years that they lived there. The wood, you can see where some parts of the wood, the floor is bowing, and they do have that section marked off. The outside is beautiful. It's a very beautiful home, but it definitely is aging with its time, which, I mean, Charleston heat, southeast in general, homes aren't meant to last this long. So it's kind of a shock that this house has made it this far. Un momento, por favor. Sorry, my mouth's dry. So, Charleston merchant John Robinson built the house in 1820 as a typical Charleston double house. So we have single houses and double houses. That would kind of be like a single family home, I guess, today. So a single home would just be like basic people, and the double home is considered like a mansion. The house descended in the Aiken Rhett family for 142 years. So for all 142 years, only the Aiken Rhett family lived in that house, and it was sold into the museum and opened to the public in 1975. And then that was when in 1995 is when the Charleston Historic Preservation took over. The Historic Society owns it now. In 1825, when Robinson lost his 5 ships at sea, he was forced to sell the house to meet his financial obligations. So in 1827, when William Aiken Sr. bought the house, Aiken was an Irish immigrant who had gained a large fortune as one of the city's leading merchants and used the house as rental property in Charleston. When Aiken Sr. died in a sudden carriage accident, his holdings were split between Henrietta White Aiken, his wife, and his son, William Jr. Aiken. In 1833, when William Sr. and Henrietta decided to officially move in and start to renovate the home, and created one of the most impressive residences in the 19th century Charleston. William Jr. was a businessman, a rice planter, and a distinguished politician and a governor of South Carolina. William Jr. was one of the state's wealthiest citizens. Him and his wife would vacation in Germany quite often and come home with their fine art and furnishings for the home. In 1858, when Aiken Jr. commissioned his cousin Joseph Daniel Aiken to design and oversee the construction of the art gallery. It was the only one of its kind in the city at the time. A lot of the objects acquired by the Aikens on their travels remain in the art room gallery today. Again, that's the only room that is air conditioning. William Jr. died in 1887 in Flat Rock, North Carolina. William Jr. left his property to his wife, Harriet. She continued to live in the house until her death in 1892. Their daughter, Henrietta. So William Jr. did name his only daughter after his mother. So there's 2 seniors and 2 juniors. William and Henrietta both have double names. and they had a son-in-law, Major A.B. Rhett. So A.B. Rhett and Henrietta raised their four sons and one daughter in the house. Upon Henrietta's death, the house was divided between her children and their heirs. Two of the sons, Aiken Rhett and Andrew Burnett Rhett, continued to live in the house until the mid 20th century. So Aiken Rhett, there is a portion of Mount Pleasant off of 17 that is called Aiken. It's a neighborhood now. I don't know what was back there before. I'd have to look into that. I don't know why I never have. The Aiken Rhett House is a 3-story, 23-room brick mansion. You're able to tour the full home. Well, not the full home. You're not able to go up to the third floor. You can tour the basement, which is technically the ground floor, the first floor, and the second floor. But the third floor is blocked off due to renovations, and it's not safe to walk on the wood. It's starting to disintegrate, and it's not safe. I think there was a little bit of termite damage, so they're trying to see what they can do to fix it. I know at one point when they had a little bit of termite damage, they did put plexiglass over some of the things until they can fix it without having to do a whole lot of fixing, I guess is the best way to put that. Like a renovating to it. So you're also able to tour the grounds, the home grounds, the horse barn with the horse carriage, where the horse caregiver lived. He had his own little home above the carriage in the garage, essentially, and that's where the carriages, and the cars stayed. And then the slave quarters is on the right side of the backyard, or I guess the backyard, I guess they would call that now. And of course, back then the kitchen was below the slave quarters, because they were in charge of cooking all the food and all the meals and the prep. So that was where a lot of the food was stored, was with the slave quarters living areas. No, I lost my spot. Okay, there we go. Unfortunately, the Aikens had 20 enslaved African Americans living on property. Like most large houses in the South, this house had a bell system to call for help when they needed. And you can still see the bells, like on the fireplaces and the mantles and certain bedrooms. There's like on the door frames, you can see it. Like, I don't know for those of you who are watching YouTube, you can see like my door behind me. They had little buttons, and it signaled to the slave quarters that they needed something. This is the second part. I would absolutely hate this if I lived back then, because I love my baths. I don't know how many women are here listening. But when I was pregnant, that's all I wanted to do was baths. But this part is sucky. I hate this part. So when Henrietta wanted a bath, one of the head female slaves would have to get up to 10 gallons of water from the well, boil it, and carry each bucket, so 1 gallon bucket, from the outside kitchen up 2 flights of stairs to the porcelain claw tub. That sounds terrible. No, thank you. I'll pass on that. That'd be a no-go. I would be like, nah, you go get your own damn water. Two of the slaves who were at the house were able to become emancipated, but due to lack of funds, they decided to stay at the home and passed away in the house not too long after becoming emancipated. The Aikens always had up to 3 horses in the house, even after the children had bought 2 Durye, Durya motor carriage. And one still sits in the barn, and it's still there today. So I think that's pretty cool. There was one man who would take care of the horses, and he was an older white gentleman who was a family friend. I wasn't able to find his name or any information about him. It literally just said carriage help, or carriage caregiver, horse caretaker. That's literally looks into what's in the archives. I'm gonna side note on this. My brain just went totally left field. So the docents don't like to give a whole lot of information outside of what's in, like, they can give. So I feel like they know a lot more than what they're leading on to with this. So, like, I kind of snoop around the house a lot. Like, I probably shouldn't be. But shh, don't tell anyone. So I kind of there's one docent that I do talk to that I do get a lot of information from. But she has since left and went to a different set of homes. So there's different homes that you can go work for docents and stuff. But I used to get a lot of my information from her, and she used to tell me some stuff. But I know she had once told me that there literally is no name for the horse, the caregiver for the horses. It literally just says white gentleman or Caucasian gentleman in the notes, and that's it. So I'm still trying to find information. So with the horse barn, you are unable to tour the upstairs of the house due to being unstable. Again, it being an old house, you can't. There's a lot of the flooring is not safe to walk on. They did have a library, essentially watch the slaves to make sure that they were behaving and doing what they were supposed to be doing. The library held up to 275 books, and William Sr. kept the books in constant rotation with new books. The Aiken Rhett House is considered a very haunted home. Some visitors think it's haunted by the spirits of the family members that once lived there. There have been some experiences of people hearing footsteps coming from above them and in front of them. Doors have been heard and seen opening and closing on their own. There is no central air or heating in the home, so whatever the temperature is outside, it's going to be in the house, maybe a little bit more. Again, the only room that is air or heat is the art gallery. Art gallery to keep all that preserved. And the parts of the basement where you can check in for tours in the gift shop. Some people have seen a woman crying in a mirror in the ballroom. I have seen a glimpse. I have a really unique picture that I'll definitely share. Some people have taken pictures and have had ghostly figures standing in the room with them. There have been loud noises and echoes from the upstairs floors, and sometimes there have been a strange wind and a loud commotion after feeling the wind, and a lot of the times the noises come from the ballroom. There were two architects working in the house in the late 80s, 1980s, and they say that they saw a woman crying when they looked into a mirror in the ballroom. So that's where some of the story comes from. If you walk in through the slave quarters, you feel a heavy feeling of anger and unease as you walk around the bedrooms. I have a hard time being up there. I really don't like it up there. I've had my arm pulled a couple times. I've seen a couple black dark figures come by me, and it's scared the living daylights out of me. But you can, like, when you start to feel it when you walk in through the kitchen, and then you get into, I guess, the middle room. I don't know what that middle room's called, but when you get into that section, you really get that heavy feeling. People have said that they've seen dark figures walk past them or behind them and get a shiver down their spines. A few people have said they have heard singing but can't make out what is being sung, and some people have said that it sounds like old Gullah. So this is my own experience. This is stuff that I have had personally experienced in the home. Now I have had two experiences while I was in the slave quarters. I felt as if a dark figure was following me. I walked from one end to the other, and I kind of stopped and stared and talking, and I was saying I wanted to learn about the history, and I out loud, and didn't want any trouble, and I didn't want to cause any harm, and I felt like the figure backed off and seemed to get go back into one of the rooms. So I've noticed a lot of times when you go into houses like this, or you go into old historic parts, if you kind of just talk, and you feel like you have a dark presence, or you feel like you have something or someone following you, like I've noticed that if I vocal about it or talk about it, or hey, I'm just here just to learn, I tend to get, like, the presence leaves me alone. I do kind of, I've seen ghosts, talk to ghosts. I get to kind of have that unique gift. I'm still learning how to, address it and deal with it. And learning to work with it and how to do better with it. So you can do the self-guided tour, and I always do it. So when you buy the tickets, you get the email, open it up, and it's a voice recording. So I put my headphones in and just walk throughout the house. I always keep a recorder on me, and I kind of record everything. So I'll kind of talk as I do the tour, and sometimes I'll pause the tour and I'll ask questions or say, hey, who lived in this room? Who lived in that room? What's your name? Is there anyone here with me? Stuff like that. So that you can kind of take that route of the history of the home and the family, so that you kind of know what you're looking at. You'll give you pictures so you know what room you're in. So I had gone up inside and upstairs into the bathroom where the claw tub is, and I felt a woman's presence in the bathroom. I had my headphones in, and I was listening about the tub, and there was a pause in the recording to give you a minute to walk around. Well, there was nothing playing for about a minute, and then I had heard humming, and I kind of figured it was coming from the recording. I had one headphone in, so the recording came back on, and it said something about the sink from being from France. And there was another minute or so pause, and I heard the same humming again. So I was by myself, and I think I was the only person in the house besides the docent. I think I was upstairs when she was down by the front door. You have to ring the doorbell to get in. So I was by myself, and there was no one else around me or near me. So that's kind of why I think I was by myself. So I was the only one on the second part of the second. I was on the only one on the second floor. I have asked some of the staff, and of course, most of them deny any hauntings because that's just kind of how it goes. And they don't, oh, there's no hauntings, there's nothing going on. There are 3 or 4 cousins of the family, Aiken family, who are on the boards of the house, who make sure it stays as is, just to kind of make sure that their family lives on, their history lives on. So there has been very minimal work to the house, and it looks like it, again, like the original family. And then one of the cousins works in the house to help answer any questions that people have about the family. And I got lucky one day when I had asked a lady who was probably in her mid-30s if she had thought that the house was haunted, and she said 100% that she thought that it was, and went on to tell me that she had a few experiences in the house, and she had 2 different shutters slam on her, and she was opening them from the day. So opening that morning, and there was no wind that day. And one experience that absolutely horrified her was when she was upstairs in the bathroom with the tub, and she heard the same humming I did, and had a feeling it was Henrietta Senior, because that was her bathroom. So she walked out of the bathroom, and she went. She was a blonde woman. She walked out the bathroom and saw a blonde woman walk out the doorway of the other bathroom and into the hallway, and she saw the balcony and door open, and then saw the back of a woman walk down the stairs and into the ballroom. So the lady tried to get halfway down the stairs and to look into the mirror to see the dark figure run across the bottom of the stairs and out the back double doors that led into the backyard. And she looked into the ballroom. She says that she saw the blonde woman with no face and heard screaming coming from behind her. The lady said that she ran out the front door as fast as she could. She forgot to lock all the doors, or not so forgot, but just didn't want to, and went across and sat across the street and waited until the other docent to come open with her arrived. So she sat across the street and sat there until the doors. She saw a couple of the doors open and close by themselves, as well as the shutters on the second floor. And I do have another experience. Well, it's a 2-in-1 experience. And it's kind of one of those experiences that are really creepy. So I had an experience where I was doing the recording, or I was listening, and I could hear footsteps walking behind me. And I happened to sit down, and I could hear the footsteps and what sounded like kids running and stomping around. And then I happened to see a black figure walk behind me, run down the stairs, and bolt out the same double doors that the docent had saw. The same black figure run across the room and run out that double doors. Well, to come to find out, some history I did learn, and I totally forgot about this, and I didn't put it in my notes, was that there was one of the slaves did wind up hanging himself from that back door. He kind of ran, and then his shirt caught onto, well, he didn't intentionally hung, but he just kind of what unfolded, and his shirt had caught on that back door, because they had double doors for the dining room that would lead to the help with this, slaves bring up food. So I did see that, and it was just a dark figure that I happened to see bolt off and run. Again, the house is really pretty. I love the house. It's great. There's definitely a lot of dark secrets in that house that I don't think have been aired out just yet. So hopefully some do, and we'll see where it goes. All right, my little bats, just remember, don't leave any stone unturned unless you're at the Aiken Rhett House. Then you might not want to touch that. So thank you for listening to Whispers of Charleston, where the streets whisper, but are you listening close enough to hear what they have to say? All right, bye, y'all. Thank you.